Best practice in real estate after August 17, 2024. This is the third video of the series, and for those who have already forgotten my name, it's Dan Parson. I'm a real estate agent, team leader, team owner at Keller Williams Elite. Disclaimer: please treat the information in this video as a resource and as an opinion. Now, all the information that I'm sharing is my opinion based on information I received from the Department of Justice, NAR, National Association of Real Estate Agents, and my broker. But at the end of the day, it does not supersede any contract that you will sign prior to viewing a property. So let's get that out of the way. Best practice. In the past, you could call up an agent, go see a property, call a different agent tomorrow, go see another property, and have no liability or allegiance to that agent. That has all changed. No one will be able to enter the doorway of a property listed in the multi-listing without having a buyer agency signed with a real estate agent. It's not going to happen. In the previous video, I told you that the Department of Justice has already levied a $1,000 fine for any real estate agent showing a house without a buyer agency. So that's just not going to happen. So for buyers, please understand, if it's not mentioned on the phone, please don't think that you got over and they're not going to ask you. I promise before you enter that house, they will ask you to sign it. If you don't sign it, you will not be going into that house. Plain and simple. If there's a few bad apples that decide to show you that house, that's on them. And that's not the type of person that I would want to work with if I was a buyer. I just would not want to, I would not want to work with someone that blatantly breaks laws. And it's an ethical violation and a trespass for you. So I wouldn't even go down that road. So what does it mean to you? It means whenever you sign that buyer agency, at the end of the day, you are responsible for whatever commission that you negotiate. I use the word negotiate. There is no set commission by any governing body that says you should pay 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. That is all negotiable. The Department of Justice and NAR wants this to be very transparent. They want you to be protected. But like in my earlier videos, I explained, when you get transparency and you get protection, there's another side effect that comes with it, and that's being held accountable. So you're going to be held accountable when you sign this contract for whatever part of the commission that is not covered by the seller. So let's talk about that. In the past, it was traditional that the listing agent would discuss with the seller what commission they were going to pay, whether it was 5 or 6% traditionally. And most of the time that was split in half. And a lot of times, the real estate agent, if they were only getting 2.5 instead of 3, they could come back on you for that. But a lot of real estate agents didn't. I think that's going to change. But at the end of the day, it's possible that the seller decides not to provide a commission at all. He might just say, I'm going to pay the listing agent 3%, and I'm not paying a commission or a concession to the buyer agent. At that point, the seller is solely responsible for the commission that they've negotiated at the beginning when they signed the exclusive or non-exclusive buyer agent. So remember that. Now, for sellers, is it best practice to pay a commission to the buyer's agent, a concession or commission or concession? Is it in your best practice? Well, there's a lot of scenarios. I can only share with you, and I'll put it this way. If you were my mother, if you were my father, if you were my brother, I would tell you that the sellers who offer 2.5 or 3% get more action on their properties traditionally than those who don't. Think about it like this. At the end of the day, it's predominantly been that when somebody looks at a $400,000 house, they know that their $12,000 buyer agent fee is contained in that number. Now, if you were them and you're looking at this, now knowing that that same $12,000 that same $400,000 house is not paying a $12,000 commission, would that change your offer price? Absolutely. At the end of the day, there's only so much money in a deal. And you can split it up 5 different ways, 10 different ways, but it doesn't increase the amount. So it is my personal opinion that those sellers who do not pay a buyer agent's commission are very short-sighted. And I'll end with this. If you were a seller, would you sooner have 100 people trying to sell your house or 2 people? Now, there's going to be some one-off situations where they absolutely don't pay a buyer's agent commission and they're not hurt. But I truly believe that in 90% or better, it will be a detriment. At the end of the day, they will pay it anyways through lower pricing, or it's going to be built into the buyer's agent's offer anyways. Quick story. Very early when this came out, there was a transaction where a seller was not paying anything to the buyer agents. Almost every buyer agent offer had a concession in it to the real estate agent for 3%. So he ended up paying more. Could have got away with paying 2.5%, but he ended up paying 3%. And he started off not wanting to pay anything. So I'm here to say that the information I provided today is to provide transparency and protection to the seller and to the buyer. But real estate is a rough and tumble sport, and I promise you, those who continue to provide a buyer agency commission, I believe with all my heart, will end up with a higher bottom line. You can disagree, and that's okay. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I've witnessed a lot. And that is 100% my belief, and that is what I would tell my mom or dad. I'm Dan Parson. Have a great day.